There are different types of capsules if you're trying to assess different parts of the bowel. So firstly, I'll just show you a small bowel capsule. This one's actually live, and I don't know whether you can see, but it's actually got a headlight on it. And then there's a camera that takes video images. And at the back, there's a battery to power it. And in the middle, there's a receiver. So the images are actually imported, and then they are sent out through Wi-Fi. The patient is set up with quite a large belt around their waist, and on that they have something that looks like a large phone, and that receives the images and downloads them and stores them. The patient swallows this. That takes about 15 to 18 hours of bowel footage. It's collected, and then the following day the patient brings us back the equipment, and we dock the telephone, the module, and that uploads all the images onto a computer so that we can then read that remotely. We also have a slightly bigger one here, which is double-ended. And this is actually a pan-enteric capsule endoscopy. And so this is the future. This will actually allow me to look at the esophagus, the stomach, all of the small bowel, and most of the colon as well. And hopefully all of the colon. So we literally get a view of everything inside. And I think this will largely replace a lot of the diagnostic work that we do for OGD, also an element of the small bowel capsule, and colonoscopy, to then isolate it down to those people who truly need those sorts of tests. So a simple test like that, a relatively simple test like that, can remove 80% potentially of people having to undergo colonoscopy for diagnostic purposes. The small bowel capsule is largely offered to those where we can see that there's an issue. Maybe there's an unexplained anemia. Maybe there's poorly controlled diarrhea. Maybe high inflammatory markers. And maybe the patients have had an endoscopy and a colonoscopy and it's normal. But we haven't covered the important bit, the bit that does all the work, the small bowel in the middle. And that's when we would use the likes of the small bowel capsule. And then with regards to the panenteric capsule, I'm using these largely for research basis to review people who already have a known diagnosis of inflammatory bowel disease who are on treatment, and we're using it to assess treatment outcomes.